His Holiness Gohar Shahi tells us, when you die and go in your grave, there will be two angels coming to question you. Tease them instead of answering their questions. Tease them. And when you think they're irritated enough, remove the shroud from your body, from the heart. The moment they look at your heart and see word Allah is shining upon the screen of your heart, they dare not ask you any more questions. उनको जुर्रत नहीं कि तुमसे दूसरा सवाल करें. You see, according to a hadith, Iman has been described in a hadith to be suspended between fear and hope, which means there are times when fear envelopes your heart and you become very defensive, you become very modest, and then suddenly there is a shift from fear. You hop onto hope. When hope is dominant on your heart, you show a lot of pride in being a servant of God, and you become very optimistic, and you begin to believe in God's mercy than God's wrath. So, according to hadith, a mu'min is between hope and fear. Sometimes his heart is under the shadows of fear, and sometimes it is kindled with the fire of hope. But when you become a wali Allah, when you become a saint of God, then Quran says Allah will remove all fear from you and all sorrows from you. Ala inna awliya Allahi la khawfun alayhim wa lahum yahzanun. So becoming a saint of God will introduce a new sentimental regime in your life, and you will be free from fear. Now, about death, what does a mu'min think about death? Well, I don't know about other mu'mineen, but those who associate themselves and have received spiritual benevolence from His Holiness Gohar Shahi. His Holiness Gohar Shahi tells us, when you die and go in your grave, there will be two angels coming to question you. Tease them instead of answering their questions. Tease them. And when you think they're irritated enough, remove the shroud from your body, from the heart. The moment they look at your heart and see word Allah is shining upon the screen of your heart, they dare not ask you any more questions. उनको जुर्रत नहीं कि तुमसे दूसरा सवाल करें. They will tell you, have a sound sleep. Oh, we're ashamed of ourselves. What question should we ask you? Your body parts are verifying your faith in your heart. See, Sarkar said, when these two angels come in your grave, tease them. If you remember, I don't know how do you take it, but the way I have taken it, it is really dreadful. You know, this thing happened with Sheikh Abdul Qadir Jilani only. And Sarkar is asking us to do the same. When Sheikh Abdul Qadir Jilani retired and was, handed over to the grave, the angels came. Now what Ghaus Pak did, he hid his identity by taking an esoteric blanket upon his soul. So the angels were not able to detect who this person is. So they came and they asked questions. Now Sheikh Abdul Qadir Jilani held their wrist and said, "Wait, before I answer your questions, you answer my question." Now the angels were really terrified. They tried their best, to remove the fist of Sheikh Abdul Qadir Jilani, but he was so powerful, so strong, so powerful. And he said, "Tell me, why did you make objections on bowing down before Adam Safiullah? Did you not know a person like me will come through his bloodline?" And they were terrified and they said, "Well, there were so many of us. We were not the only one." He said, "I'm not going to let you go." And then, Sheikh Abdul Qadir Jilani offered them some help and said, "Okay, one of you will stay with me and the other one should go and ask why." So one of those angels went back to God and said, "This is what it is. My other companion is held hostage in the grave of some person, because they didn't know who this was. But they were astounded. We're angels. He's so powerful. So God said to him, "He is my beloved. Now you need to do something under the table." Kuch mukmuka kar lo. You need to do something under the table. So he came back and he said, "Okay, we have decided that we would make some compensation and some compromises." So Abdul Qadir Jilani said to them, "Okay, you two, you need to make sure that when my murid, one of my disciple, comes into a grave, you don't ask them questions. Otherwise, I'll grab you from your neck again." So the promise was made. So this happened with Sheikh Abdul Qadir Jilani. And as a result of this, a covenant reached between Sheikh Abdul Qadir Jilani and the angels. And as a result of this, the original murideen, disciples of Sheikh Abdul Qadir Jilani, those who have received the bounty and the gift of Zikr Qalb. I'm saying this because nowadays every Tom, Dick and Harry calls himself Qadri, and he doesn't even know what Qadri means. So a true disciple of Ghaus Pak is one who has Zikr Qalb. No matter you have done bay'ah upon the hands of any so-called murshid who runs a so-called Qadri silsila these days, because these days there are more fake ones than original ones. So we're talking about the original murideen, the original disciples of Sheikh Abdul Qadir Jilani, and the original disciple of Sheikh Abdul Qadir Jilani is one whose heart is enlightened. Sheikh Abdul Qadir Jilani said, "My disciple will remember God frequently." And then Sheikh Abdul Qadir Jilani said, "The only form of zikr I recognize is zikr which is done inside the heart. If a parrot copies you and says Allahu, 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 do you think a parrot will become a murid of Sheikh Abdul Qadir Jilani? No." So this happened with Sheikh Abdul Qadir Jilani, but then Sarkar Gohar Shahi has come up with some extraordinary authority and power, and calling upon his followers and telling them, when you go in your grave, tease them. Nobody else did this. Tease them. So this is what it is, my friend. And obviously Sarkar is addressing our souls. Otherwise, if it is to do with your brain memory, you might forget, right? But when you go in there, your things, your inside souls, latifa nafs, it's in their memory, and they will, some of our people will give them real hard time. وہ جتنی بھی ان کے ساتھ زیادتیاں گھر میں ہوئی ہیں، بیوی نے کی، سب کا نزلہ وہ منکر نکیر پہ اتار دیں گے.
ALRATV, the place to connect with God.